Hey, have you heard about Taiwan? Sure, I've heard that the traffic is terrible in Bangkok.
This is not a joke, but reality from time to time. This is why I have decided to start my channel and introduce you to my home country, Taiwan, on my own horizon. If you have heard about Taiwan already because of TSMC, Foxconn or Giant, you should definitely follow my channel to learn more about the people who make these companies successful. By the way, I'm Serena. I've been living in Europe for 2 decades. On my channel, you will discover Taiwan, not only for its stunning landscape, but also for its rich humanistic folk culture. For the sake of clarification, let me show you exactly where Taiwan is. You can reach Taiwan with the direct flights from all major European hubs like Paris, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, and London. Now, let's pack and get going to Taiwan. Now, you know where Taiwan is. Let's have a quick fact check. Until the end of 2021, there have been 22 types of religion among 23 million inhabitants, and the main religion is Taoism. Or I would rather call it the mixture of Taoism and folk religion. As you can see, it's a very religious, diverse and inclusive society. Taoism is a polytheistic religion that worships many gods. According to statistics, there are 15,000 temples and churches spread out in Taiwan, which are more than the 12,000 convenience stores. Basically, you are more likely to come across a temple than a convenience store. All this means that temples played an important role for the Taiwanese, and in their daily lives, there are abundant temple, cultural fairs, and ceremonies around it. One of the most renowned and worshipped gods is Mazu. Mazu is a sea goddess who has protected the fishermen and sailors for centuries. In the early days, people fished for living in Taiwan, as Mazu was traditionally believed to roam the seas. Fishermen and sailors have believed of evidencing the miraculous interventions from Mazu to rescue them. She is now generally regarded by her worshippers as a powerful and compassionate Empress of Heaven, or Tin Ho. According to the Ministry of Interior, there are about 1,000 registered temples, where Mazu is the main deity. What you see here are all Mazu in different form, from different Mazu temples around Taiwan. Apart from the title of Mazu in Mandarin, she also has several names pronounced in Taiwanese, such as Mazobo means Granny Mazu, or means Grand Auntie, as we affectionately call her, as if she were a member of our family, and we could talk to her anytime. And my hometown Dajia is in the center of Taiwan. It takes you about 1.5 hours by car from the airport to get there. There is not only a Mazu temple, but the Mazu Temple Dajia Zhenlanggong, where the remarkable Dajia Mazu pilgrimage takes place every year. In 2010, Dajia Mazu pilgrimage was named as one of the top 3 largest religious festivals in the world by the Discovery Channel. UNESCO has even included Mazu beliefs and customs on the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. In this first of my video, I will take you back to my hometown and tell you all you need to know about the Dajia Mazu pilgrimage. Like I said earlier, Taiwan is a religious, diverse and inclusive society. So this event welcomes everyone, with or without Mazu beliefs, because it's mostly about Mazu, but not only. I was born and brought up in Dajia, the Mazu temple. Zhenlanggong is where our lives revolve around from day one. People have a strong belief in Mazu, which forms an integral part of many Taiwanese people's daily lives. The Dajia Mazu pilgrimage must be rooted back in 1770. When it was carried out by boat from Taiwan to China every 12 years. Ever since 1948, it has taken place every year, with only a few interruptions. Unlike the pilgrimages in the Western world, the Dajia Mazu pilgrimage is much noisier, and with great enthusiasm. Participation of the Dajia Mazu pilgrimage has become a bucket list item for many people. This is because Mazu worship is part of humanity's intangible cultural heritage, and Taiwan is likely a true bastion of Mazu belief. So, what is it all about this pilgrimage? In a nutshell, it is to celebrate Mazu's birthday on the March 23rd. In the lunar calendar, shortly after Chinese New Year, many Mazu temples across Taiwan begin to prepare for their birthday celebrations. With a local traditional customs, Dajia Mazu pilgrimage held by Zhenleng is by far the largest on the island. It is estimated to reach more than 1 million participants over the years. It's considered as the largest human migration on the island. Now, when is it? It is decided on the evening of the Lantern Festival, which is on January 5th, 10th in the lunar calendar. On that evening, Zhenleng will hold a ritual called Shaogao to seek for a confirmation of Mazu's departure date. The temple authorities will pose the questions and offer Mazu options for her acceptance by throwing the wooden divination blocks. If one block faces up and the other down, the answer is yes. If both blocks face downward, the answer is no. If it goes like the one on the right side, there is no answer because Mazu is smiling, hesitating or not answering. The questions need to be rephrased until a positive answer is given. You might be wondering now, how do I know which date of lunar calendar is? Here is my advice. You can Google the lunar calendar conversion chart, as shown on the video, or simply Google the date of Lantern Festival. Once you find out which date is the Lantern Festival, all you have to do is wait until the next day of the Lantern Festival. Either you can visit the official website of Zhenleng to find out the exact itinerary, or just Google Dajia Mazu Pilgrimage 20XX. If you are in any doubt, check it out on my YouTube channel, where I will share this information as soon as it's available. Now, we have the date, but where do we go to? The route of the pilgrimage is mapped out beforehand. The departure ceremony is held around midnight at the courtyard of Zhenleng, where thousands of people flood the street of Dajia. After the 3 huge and loud firecrackers are set off, splendid and colorful, fireworks rise from the courtyard of the temple and light up the night sky. The crowd swarms around the sacred palanquin, with Mazu sitting inside, and the pilgrimage is announced to be kicked off. Over the next 9 days and 8 nights, the pilgrimage will cover a total distance of nearly 350 kilometers through 4 counties, from Taiking towards south to Changhua, Yunlin, Chiayi, and 21 villages, and passes through 178 temples. On the evening of the 3rd day, the procession reaches its destination, Fengshengang Temple, in Xingang Town, Chiayi County. From the early afternoon of the day, all the pilgrims gradually arrive, while the whole village of Xingang provides all kind of food, drinks, and entertainment to welcome everyone. In the evening, the whole village of Xingang goes into a Mazu craze and sends out all the parades of temple fair to welcome the arrival of Dajia Mazu. Dajia Mazu is carried out from her palanquin and meets the Mazu of Fengshengang. On the next morning, the 4th day, a temporary and magnificent altar is erected. In front of Fengshengang, nearly 100,000 worshippers find their place, spreading out from the temple into streets. The birthday celebration lasts about 2 hours, with traditional blessings, various Taoist procedures, and chanting of sutras. What I found amazing is that the whole town is so quiet that you can hear birds singing while the ceremony is going on. After the ceremony, most of the pilgrims who wish to complete the whole pilgrimage will soon be on their journey home. The procession of Dajia Mazu will only depart at midnight of the 4th day from Xingang, and on her way back to Dajia, there's something we, the people from Dajia, have always known of. On the day of Dajia Mazu birthday celebration in Xingang, half of Dajia is empty. You have a better chance of meeting up your relatives, neighbors, friends, and even colleagues there than in Dajia. And this is truly not just a legend. Now, who can participate? First of all, you don't have to be a Mazu practitioner in order to participate in this pilgrimage. In fact, many people go on the Dajia Mazu pilgrimage out of curiosity, and some because it's just healthy to walk. For many faithful followers, it may be a way of returning their gratitude to Mazu for her grace, caring, listening, or fulfilling their wishes. For whatever the reason or motivation is, this pilgrimage is open to all. And it can be done in different duration of participation too. Everything is of your own free will. Many people would try to attend the Mazu birthday ceremony in Xingang, join the procession during the weekend, go back to work, and rejoin the final arrival at Dajia Zhenlengong. If you don't want to go as a pilgrim, but as a spontaneous visitor, the following procedures are for your information only. But you will still learn why the pilgrims do that. If you want to take it seriously and follow the procedures, you can surely do that. But don't stress out if you can't get it right. Many experienced pilgrims tell us, Mazu is sitting in your heart, and she knows when you are doing good. Okay, where to sign up for it? The answer is nowhere. There is no official registration, but the pious believers would go to the Mazu temple in Dajia and ask Mazu for permission to participate by throwing the divination blocks. If you get a positive answer, you can go get one of these incense flags before the departure, but not on the grand departure day of Mazu, as it's just crowded. Staff of the temple will write your name and address on the flag and stamp the temple seal on it. You will be given the first lucky charm of the temple, which you will tie it to the flag. Now that you have your own incense flag, and you will go downstairs of the temple to buy a type of joss paper money like this. Together with your flag and the joss paper money, you will light incense sticks and inform Mazu of your participation in the pilgrimage by stating your name, age, and address, and asking for her blessing to complete this journey smoothly. After placing the incense sticks into the incense burner, you will hold your flag over the burner and circle it around clockwise 3 times. This means that you are receiving the blessing from Mazu through the smoke of incense sticks. The joss paper money should be burned afterwards, which symbolize that Mazu has sent the guards to protect you during the pilgrimage. This procedure is so-called 骑马, literally means getting on the horse. Looking at the joss paper money, it says all already. Once you get on the journey and get the flag stamped, the lucky charm tied to your flag, and circled it around the incense burner 3 times, you will be blessed by all the deities you will worship. As you pass through these temples, throughout your pilgrimage, once the guards are on the horse, you need to let them get off the horse at one stage, which is called 下马, at the end of each day. When you have completed the daily journey, you will inform the deity of the last temple where you plan to stay overnight or take a longer rest, and let the guards get off the horse while you rest. On the next morning, you would inform the deity of the temple for your departure so that you get the guards back on the horse. You will repeat these 2 steps with flags open until the end of the Mazu birthday celebration. You will wrap it up with all the lucky charms collected when you are on the return journey. Wrapping up the flag means taking the blessing of Mazu and all the deities back home with you. On the final arrival of the pilgrimage in Dajia, you will do the final 下马 as you return the guards of procession to Mazu and thank her for the blessing. Now, let's talk about some practical things. You'll be surprised to know that there is more than one way to complete this pilgrimage. Some walk all the way, some go on a bike, or a combination of walk and bike rental. Some go on their scooter or car, or join the organized tour bus. Depending on your physical condition, you choose what works the best for you. Any form of participation is allowed, as long as it's safe. The most important thing is your motivation and determination. It's your pilgrimage in your own way. The good thing is that there are groups of people, with great kindness, will organize a fleet of typical Taiwanese small blue trucks, or delivery trucks as free shuttle for those who need a ride to reach the next stop. They drive around between temples and pick up anyone who wants to get on. There are even scooter riders. private car drivers, who are generous enough to offer a ride to pilgrims. Who could worry that they won't make it? Depending on how many days you want to take part of it, you tend to pack as few essential items as possible, as you will be taking them from one temple to another. Over the course of 9 days, those who want to complete the whole pilgrimage on foot are very creative in finding the best solutions. As you can see, there are backpackers who are very agile. Many others carry all their belongings in their prams or trolleys. I know they do look a bit funny, but believe me, they're really useful for this purpose. Give it a try, you will see. It's also important that you are equipped with some reflective lights when you walk at night for safety reasons. Experienced pilgrims have told us that you should be prepared to live like a tramp during these 9 days. It's not as bad as it sounds. If you do some homework beforehand, there are some shower trucks donated by local people for the pilgrims, which are set up near the main stopovers of the Mazu procession. The website mentioned before will tell you where these shower trucks are located. Some of the larger temples have shower rooms next to the temples or in their pilgrim buildings. Last year, we randomly asked for shower in a state-owned office building and were accepted. Another time when we arrived late at a temple, we were invited to shower in a private house who didn't even know us at all. What an incredible experience. Such generosity and kindness will stay with me for a very long time. You can of course book at hotels, B&B in advance, but they may be fully booked shortly after the departure of the pilgrimage is announced, or they are further away from the pilgrimage route. Some people organize sleepovers on their way to the destination, where their friends and family are close by. Some do their homework and find out which associations, cultural centers, big train stations, parks, and of course temples are available. Some camp wherever they are allowed to. Many sleep in temples wherever they can. A lot of it is based on sharing information with each other on the Facebook page. This is the least you need to worry about. One thing you should know, well, if you want, is to eat only vegetarian food on the way out until the end of the Mazu birthday ceremony. All the food served on the way out is also vegetarian only. All the Mazu entourage staff and some pilgrims start being vegetarian 1 week, even 1 month before the departure date. The purpose of it is to ensure that we are physically purified when we go on our journey with Mazu. The Dejia Mazu pilgrimage can be considered as a tour of food marathon, as you get to taste Taiwanese signature local products. Locals hand out the best local produced goods or homemade food to passing pilgrims. Pilgrims are given all kinds of food, drinks, fruits along the way. Our trolley seems to grow with the food on its own, as all the enthusiastic locals keep offering it to you. And you feel bad to decline, so they would discreetly toss them into your trolley. Now, let me share some lessons learned from the experienced pilgrims. If you plan to be a pilgrim during the entire journey, you are highly recommended to set off at least half day before the departure of Mazu. This will give you time to shower and sleep before reaching your destinations. Why that? The staff of Mazu Palanquin works in 3 shifts, and they almost walk 24/7, non-stop throughout the pilgrimage. While you rest or sleep, the whole procession continues. As soon as Mazu Palanquin and her entourage catch you up, your route will be jammed and slowed considerably by the crowd of people who come to greet Mazu. Once you are behind the Mazu entourage, you will have great difficulty in catching it up and will have no time to shower and sleep. You also need to know that most of the locals will clear away donated food and drink as soon as the Mazu's palanquin has passed. If you are on your own and don't speak Mandarin, you could literally get lost. Although the Taiwanese are most warm-hearted people during this pilgrimage and will always try to help you out, it'd be useful to download the application from this website to help you find out your way easier and know where the Mazu Palanquin is. Even if it sounds easy as we mostly walk on the villages and not in the mountains, the daily trek is almost 40 kilometers of walking. If you want to complete the exact route, that Mazu palanquin passes through. Blisters could be your biggest enemy. A good pair of shoes and thick socks are essential. There are lots of tips on how to take care of your feet, such as wrapping up your toes like this every morning. Personally, I didn't try it this way on my first pilgrimage in 2024, but this is how I did it, and it worked out well. Every morning I put on the anti-friction cream all over my feet, and certainly around each toe. I wear thick socks. The best ones are such type with toes separated. Whenever you feel like a blister coming on, put on one of these blister plasters on to stop it. I can only speak for myself, and it did work well for me. I would highly recommend you to get whatever works for you to fight against blisters, because you just have to give up if you can't walk anymore. The good news is that there are several medical support stations set up at some of the major temples. On the pilgrimage map, the volunteer nurses will help pilgrims to treat blisters and wounds properly so that you can continue your journey. So this was the first part of the introduction. I hope you find it useful. If you like it, please share and subscribe. If you have any questions, just leave me a message. In the second part of the introduction, I will share with you the highlights of the pilgrimage and everything about the sacred palanquin. Stay tuned and hope to meet you on the pilgrimage. Bye.